more freedom for us outside of the US than inside of the US.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. It's Adam. I am an expat, a nomad, a long-term traveler. I've been living abroad out of the US now for closer and closer to 8 to 10 years. And before this, I was a fairly high-paid cybersecurity and privacy consultant in San Francisco and Silicon Valley. But I want to talk about my experience and how that can maybe apply to you if you're somebody that's considering really changing your life and living abroad, going traveling for a long term. So let's get into that. You know, when I look back on my journals and my notes from the years, I never would have expected that I would have left the US. Growing up, to be honest, I guess probably like a good amount of other Americans, I didn't really have any concept of the rest of the world. The US is a massive place. North America, including our neighbor to the north and our neighbor to the south, it's a massive amount of space. And you know, even some of my family lived in different places around the country and we would visit them, but I never really had this concept of leaving that place. You know, I grew up believing that, you know, the classic concept of the American dream and what my family and what my parents talked to me about. You know, if you study hard, if you work hard, if you're diligent and disciplined and you push yourself, and you're gonna need to, the world is a fast-paced and competitive place, so you're gonna need to push yourself because it's so competitive. But hey, if you do that, you know, you'll have the American dream, you'll have success. And for a long time, I was on the right path. I had some little stumbles, I had little moments. When I was in high school, I was really into basketball, and that was my total obsession, along with some video games. And so, you know, I tore my ACL playing basketball and kind of destroyed my knee, my ACL and my meniscus. And, you know, I didn't really care so much about school, but my parents sat me down, and not necessarily the birds and the bees conversation, but more of like the, hey, if you want to have a good life and if you want to survive in this world, which is so global, so fast-paced. They worked in technology companies and in engineering, and they saw how many people from around the world were involved in this global world economy. And they really said, hey, if you want to get ahead, if you want to have a good life, you need to really focus and put your mind to it. And honestly, even more so with just surviving, you really have to dedicate yourself. You have to be disciplined. So I believed in this concept, and junior, senior year of high school, I really sat down, forced myself, and dedicated myself to bring up my grades, get some good scholarships, go to one of the top IT, MIS, and cybersecurity programs in the country. I got a 4.0 for my whole time in, actually it was 5 years, not just 4 years of college, but also my senior year of high school when I needed to get that scholarship. Perfect grades, straight A's. So for 5 years, I was a perfect student. And then in my free time, I was working at the information security, cybersecurity office. I was, involved in professional development, public speaking, Toastmasters. I was really honing myself to be this perfect candidate for the job market. And then when the time came, I had some job offers from the big 4 consulting firms to go do IT and cybersecurity consulting. And I went for an internship and then accepted the offer to go to San Francisco and work for PwC, one of the big 4 consulting firms, and to do cybersecurity and IT consulting there. And you know, on top of all that, like I didn't have any student loan debt. I had been saving money from all these, you know, these summer jobs, these internships, these part-time jobs when I was a student. You know, I was fortunate, lucky, and privileged to be in a situation, also thanks to my parents, that I didn't have any student loan debt. So, you know, I got settled in there to San Francisco. I was working hard, but I just felt there's something wrong, something not right here. I felt more and more burnt out. I felt like, what's the point of all of this? Like, where's this really going?
I started to see a little bit of the game of how the consulting world worked, and also a lot of I got to see behind closed doors and inside of a lot of the biggest tech names and tech brands from San Francisco, California, Silicon Valley. And I got more and more of this sense of like, in a way, it's like, is this all that life is? Is this all that life is really meant to be? And I really started to question, like, is this what I want out of the rest of my time of my career? And I was this close to probably like one more year of making 6 figures and having the so-called golden handcuffs, where you have some prestige, you have social status, you have money, you have all the creature comforts of a good life. And I got more and more close to this moment and decided, once I get to that place with the golden handcuffs, the so-called golden handcuffs, I'll probably never be willing to let that go. It'll be so seductive and so fulfilling, but not really, that I'll never really want to quit. I'll never really let go. And I'll have so much responsibility and accountability at the firm that I'll never really have another chance to do something else with my life. And then, like a lot of people experience, you get to like your midlife crisis and you've worked your whole life, and what's it all been about? So that was the moment I decided to take a big leap of faith and see what else life could have in store for me.